G'day. I'm going to talk to you today about the election, which, if you're like me, you're probably up to here with the election. But as most of us probably know, every election that comes along, we always say, oh, this is the most important election of all time. Well, I'm going to say to you today, this is the most important election in your lifetime or mine. And I stand by that comment because we have got a crisis before us, and one of two things is going to happen on the 4th of May 2025. One, we will rise up to the country that we used to be, the country that was admired and respected and loved by much of the rest of the world and ourselves, or we will skyrocket downwards into a communist-inspired, lack of freedom, lack of democracy country. And I respectfully remind everybody watching this video that we've had thousands and thousands of young Australians, male and female, go away from these shores and fight, many of whom gave their lives to have this country and allow us to build what we built. Our political force at the moment is seeking to tear all of that down. Now that sounds sensational, I know, and I apologise for that, but it's a reality. I've lived with that reality for the last 3 years, and if we have another 3 years of the same, I believe we will become a communist-inspired country. We will have lack of freedom, lack of democracy. Your thoughts and desires mean nothing, nor do mine, because the reality of it is Anthony Albanese is a communist. Now, when you say that, a lot of people say, oh yeah, he's a commo, yeah, that's right. But hear me good, hear me properly. Anthony Albanese is a communist. He is a fully paid up member, card-carrying member of what's known as the Search Foundation, which is fully funded by the Communist Party of Australia. And Anthony Albanese had communist followings even in his university days. He was arrested when he was in his university days for bad conduct, as far as I know, during a communist demonstration. Now, I mean, this is all unscripted. I haven't scripted any of this. This is just all out of my heart and out of my head. We have got a choice to make. If you haven't already voted, of course. I made a video, many of you must have seen it, just a few days ago, where I had over 25,000 people respond to the video, many of whom said, what do we do, Les? What do we do? Who do we vote for? I normally wouldn't advise others how to vote, but in this case I have. And I've suggested that if they vote for Anthony Albanese and Penny Wong, I'll give you an example of what's going to happen. As many of you will remember, a while back now, we had a referendum to incorporate the voice into the Australian Constitution. And 60% of us, after $500 million was spent, 60% of us said, no way, we don't want it. Penny Wong has informed us and informed the whole of the media, worldwide media, that if they are elected to power, they are going to have the voice again. Even though 60% of us said no, after them spending $500 million, they're going to have the voice again anyway. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I'm going to say no if they have it again anyway. You possibly will do so as well. So that means they're going to waste $1 billion, all told, to fail. I mean, that's an example of what the Labor Party is going to run your life like if they are voted back into power. Now, as I said before, a lot of people have asked me, what do we do? Who do we vote for? I'll just make a point, if I may. Of these 25,000 or over 25,000 people that have contacted me and made comments and what have you, I couldn't possibly count how many people have said, after I saw your video, I wish I hadn't voted because I would certainly follow your advice if I hadn't already voted. Be that as it may, my advice to you is, there's only one choice. I mean, there's a lot of good politicians. I admire Pauline Hanson. I won't bother with that. There's a lot of other good people. But we need to think about ourselves. We need to think about our country. We need to think about Australia and what's going to happen to our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, and so on. I'll remind you of the saying, you can vote your way into communism, but you've got to shoot your way back out of it again. Think about that carefully. My advice is that we must, if you haven't already voted, we must vote for Peter Dutton. That will surprise a few people. I'm not saying for a moment that he's the ideal choice, not for a moment. But he is the best of a bad bunch in my opinion. And the reason I say that to you is, if Anthony Albanese gets back into power, nothing, absolutely nothing you say or I say is going to make any difference. They are going to lead us down the path to become a communist-inspired, lack of democratic freedom country. Peter Dutton will listen to us, and I intend to tell him what the people want. So my advice to you is, please think about what I've said. Please vote for Peter Dutton, and we will, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but we will control him. We will tell him what we want, and our Constitution says that all politicians are legally bound to abide by the will of the people. That's law. That is the Constitution. And that's the only way we as people, we as a nation, and we as a country are going to survive. I hope you'll consider what I've just said. God bless Australia. I just hope it works out in our favour. Thank you.